And I'm realizing that I'm sitting in the middle of the living room on a chair. In my head, that is making sense. But I was on a roller coaster. And I mean, I'm twisting in my seats as we're tossing and turning
Oh
and
my God.
hollering. And so when I get done, they are all laughing at me. Like they are not really laughing at me, but they
Yeah,
were
yeah,
they were
yeah,
chuckling and I didn't
yeah,
even care. I was not embarrassed. I was
yeah.
so they were like, "Mom, you were so," Lily says, "You were so dramatic." And I was like, I don't like, I was on a roller that's what I would be doing if I was on a roller coaster. I was literally just on a roller coaster. There was a
Yeah.
couple of times I felt like I was gonna fall out of my chair, but it was I mean, my body even tensed up, like, trying to hold it as though
Yeah,
it was weird, but it was super cool. But I was, like, kinda dizzy, like, for several hours once I was done. Like, it
really?
yeah, it did something with my equilibrium. But anyway, then Easton does it. He's looking down inside the cart where he sits, and because there's a screen that you can see what they're seeing based on what they're looking at.
Oh,
So
cool.
he's not looking at the roller coaster. He's like looking around. And and then Paul gets home and they're like, "Dad, come try this." And I'm going to see if you freak out like mom freaked out. And he sits down and I'm thinking, well, maybe I'm just a baby. I mean, I enjoyed it. It wasn't like I
Yeah,
wasn't having a great time.
right.
So it starts and it's going up and he's like, "Oh, here we go." And then it starts going down and he starts turning and
Aw.
he goes, "Get this off my head." And he couldn't do it. Like he was like, "Uh-uh." And he loves roller coasters. So it was surprising. And then Logan, I said, "Logan, you have to do it. You're the only one that hasn't tried it." He goes, "I'm scared now." And he did not make it through the whole thing, but he was very quiet through what he did go through. And then
Right.
he didn't talk about it much. So I don't know really what he experienced, but it made me go, why did we all have such different reactions?
Mhm.
And then I thought, the kids couldn't feel it, couldn't feel the excitement or the fear because they've never been on a roller coaster. They don't
Mhm.
understand the sensation, which got me thinking when I'm working with patients with hypnosis, I can't tell them to try to imagine something that they've never experienced.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you haven't experienced it, that does not mean the same thing to you as if you've been there. And I'm totally guessing, but that's what came up for me is that when I'm going through, what do you want? And
Mhm.
imagine being there, having, well, they can't imagine it if they've never had it.
Yeah.
So what it's reflecting back to me is not what do you want, imagine it, but what are the great like think of a time when you felt this way. You felt
Mhm.
secure, you felt strong, you felt focused, you knew what you wanted, and you said, "I'm going to go and I'm going to do this."
Yeah.
And feel that feeling because that's the same feeling as what they want now. It's just tied to a new thing.
To a different thing, yeah.
Yeah. And